Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, then what's good guys? Hope you're all doing well. But before we continue this video, if you have not already, then don't forget to subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you never miss when I post. So I put out a video a few days ago which was basically a, what was it? By the way, my nails, they're still not sorted, but now there's just like no chance because we're in quarantine, so now I have zero chance. Already really shit with my nails, but now it's just gonna be even worse. Anyways, yeah, so it was basically just a video me answering some of your questions, advice, etc, etc, and I said that I would bring out a part 2 in a few days, and that's what I'm filming today. I'm just gonna go straight into the questions, I guess. I'm kind of living for these short videos because I myself don't really like to sit down and watch long ass videos. So question number 1, how did you cope when you were a single mum? How do you get over your baby's father? So if you're new here and you don't know, then I have 2 children and they are both from different dads. Now my firstborn is 7 years old and my secondborn is 2 years old. So my 7-year-old is from my first relationship, and if you guys have been watching, I put out a video that was titled Pregnant at 17. You guys should go down and watch that to get more of an insight. Also, I was in a relationship when I was 16 up until I was 20. I guess let me just answer the question properly. No one's asking for your life story, Sarah. So obviously it was my first relationship. It was the relationship where I lost my virginity. It was my first ever boyfriend. It was with my first ever child. So you can imagine the heartbreak was like disgusting, like on another level. Like I wasn't used to it. It was just like, let me just I don't know. But no, for real, all jokes aside, I actually was suicidal during that breakup because you don't know what to do with yourself. I was like, this relationship is all I've ever known basically. I don't know anything outside of this relationship. I'm lost in this life basically. Although I was 20 and I was no longer a child, I was in that relationship when I technically was legally a child, because 16 years old is a child. I grew into the woman that I was during that relationship. I didn't cope. Like it says, how did you cope? I honestly, it was really bad. I remember I was staying in like this hostel with Jaden, which is my firstborn, and you know, it would obviously really hurt me every single time he would get dropped to me. And for me, I kind of was like that ex that was constantly texting like please, like, let's talk, like blah blah blah. The way that I got over it was honestly time. I remember I was working at the time that I was going through the breakup, and it was kind of like a coffee shop, kind of salad bar place, and I used to always ask for toilet breaks just so I can go and cry in the toilet. Like, and then at one point my manager was kind of like, you've been asking for toilet breaks like all day long, like if you don't want to be here, like just go home. And then the fact that she was speaking to me like that just made me cry even more. I was just like, I'm going through so much shit right now, like if only you knew. But at the same time, managers don't give a fuck if you're going through a breakup. Like that's just, who cares? There was a girl that I was working with at the time, and she basically told me that, you know, she was basically in a relationship for 7 years and she broke up with him. Like they broke up. I don't know who broke up with who, but they broke up. Imagine she's watching this video right now. Hey girl, you was right, bitch. Time really does heal. She was just like, honestly, the only thing that I can say to you is that time heals. Like there's no other piece of advice I can give you. And at the time I literally thought like, what a shit piece of advice. Like I hate when people say that, like, oh, like time heals, blah blah blah, but it actually seriously does heal. And that's how I coped. You kind of think like 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, am I going to be feeling the exact same way that I'm feeling right now? Like, no, you're not. And time really does fly. It's been 5 years now since I left that first relationship, and it took me, I started seeing somebody 3 months after the breakup, to be completely honest with you, and it was a rebound, but it definitely helped move on. And because of that rebound, it took me about a year to move on from my first relationship. And to be honest, a year is pretty quick considering it was a 4-year relationship. So that's basically just how I coped. In terms of parenting, in terms of me being a mum, it took an effect, like it took its toll on me, because I was always crying in front of my child. Like it wasn't nice. Like it wasn't nice for him. I wasn't like a happy mum, and for me, I feel like to be a good mum or to be a good parent, you need to be a happy one. I was still like having to obviously look after my child, having full-time, etc etc. Like I was still able to do that fine, but my emotions myself, like I was suppressing them, and it exploded. Like it was horrible basically. But I would also say, like, don't hold in your emotions, don't like stop yourself from crying, don't force yourself to be strong. I don't believe in that. I really feel like let yourself feel what you're feeling, because if, for example, like for months you're just holding it in and telling yourself like I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, it's gonna come out like in a worse way than it would have if you just had let it out, if that makes sense. Give yourself that time to cry, like cry yourself to sleep for a month straight if you really need to. Like do that if that's what's gonna help you to get all those emotions out, because you do need to get the emotions out. And keep yourself busy. Think of a new hobby that you can take part in, whether that be drawing, whether that be music. Helped me a lot also. Music was like my savior, honestly. It was like music, keeping busy, just letting time do its thing. Like every day that goes by, you're one day closer to moving on, like if you just think of it that way. If you're watching this and you're going through a breakup, and like I know exactly how you feel, because I was literally like, I was so depressed during this breakup. I literally wanted to end my own life because I was like, I physically don't know how I'm gonna go on. And like look now, like I actually did go on, like I did move on, and I'm not the only person that goes through it. It's a breakup, it happens, it's life. Like you're not going to die, you're not. You can do it. You were alive and well before you met that person. You're going to be alive and well after that person. You just have to keep telling yourself that that person just wasn't for you. And the way I saw it was that God didn't send this person for me. So why would I want to be with someone that God didn't send for me, when someone that's actually for me is out there? Like if I really had the choice, would I pick somebody that God didn't send for me? Would I just be patient and wait for the right one to come along? And I waited for the right one to come along, and I took it as like, it's a sign, it's not meant to be. And yeah, eventually I met somebody else, and that's just life basically. And I would not advise to do what I did, which was get a rebound basically after breakup. The only reason I say this is because the rebound, you can either end up catching feelings or whatever, and then it's kind of like a double heartbreak. You're kind of moving on to something when your heart hasn't healed yet, so you're damaged and you're bringing that damage onto somebody else. It's just, you just end up feeling more lost than you honestly did from the get-go. It's just, I would not recommend, like don't do it. Let time do its thing, like move on naturally, like how you're supposed to. Let yourself cry, let yourself hurt, blah blah blah, like spend time with your friends. Don't turn to alcohol and partying. But although like if you're partying or going out clubbing or whatever and drinking because it's something that you actually like to do and it actually makes you feel good, go ahead. But don't like force yourself to be going out and doing these things because you feel like I need to get my mind off this person. It doesn't help. You end up just being drunk and crying and drunk texting your ex, and it's just like yeah. To the person that sent me this question, obviously I don't know if you just wanted to hear from my side or if you're actually going through it yourself, but just know that you will actually get through it. Like I'm living proof. Like I'm sure loads of people are living proof. Like you get through it, you really really do. And when you finally do get through it, you're gonna be like, thank fuck I stuck to my guns and didn't go back. Like thank fuck it didn't work out. And you start to look back and realize everything that was wrong in that relationship. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever cheated and have you been cheated on? I have been cheated on, and I have cheated. Yeah, I have been cheated on. But when I found out that I was cheated on, it was 2 years after we had already broken up. So it was like, you're not hurt over it anymore. You're kind of shocked because you're like, rah, like how the fuck did I not see that? I'm surprised basically that they got away with that and I didn't clock it at the time. But yeah, there was no emotional hurt behind it because it was 2 years after the breakup. And I have cheated in a relationship, which was my first relationship. I cheated with somebody that I was working with at the time. I used to work in a bar. I used to work in like a club kind of bar, but it was more like a chill kind of bar. And the guy that I used to work with, I cheated with him. I don't condone cheating, by the way. No matter how whatever relationship ended, like cheating is not, like I regret. Like, you know when people say like, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. I didn't cheat by having sex with this person, by the way. But you know when people say like, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. I used to actually live by that and be like, yeah, once a cheater, always a cheater, for real, for real. But I'm like in that position and I'm like, I don't think that's true. because you could be an actual cheater, like you're a cheater and you could have made a mistake and you've cheated once, if that makes sense. You guys are probably thinking, oh, shut the fuck up, you was a cheater. I know what I'm saying, like it makes sense to me. Like I cheated, but I'm not a cheater. Like I couldn't even imagine cheating on my current partner. Guys, I can't believe I'm actually telling you guys that I've cheated before. This is wild. This is what happens when you get a bit too comfortable in front of the camera. So I have cheated and have been cheated on. Somebody said, I love your account. Thank you. I'm guessing they mean my Instagram account because this was a poll that was on Instagram. I feel like my Instagram is pretty shitty at the moment, but thanks, I appreciate it. My mum doesn't like my boyfriend because he's Jamaican. What to do? I guess she means like, what do I do? Oh, this is a bit of a... I've never been in that kind of situation before. My mum doesn't like my boyfriend because he's Jamaican. Bloody heck. Has your mum met your boyfriend or has she not met him yet and now she's just like, I'm not gonna like him basically because he's Jamaican? If you're in a serious relationship, or if you're in a relationship where you see a future with this person, I would never be one to kind of drop my happiness to make my parents happy. This is not me advising you guys to be like, disrespect your parents, and I'm just saying like, this is, I feel like I can't give you guys advice and tell you what to do, because if it doesn't work out for you, I don't want to be that person that, you know. But the only thing that I will do is just say what I would do in this situation. This is in no way me telling you like, do this. But in this situation, I would, you know, let my mum know that, you know, I'm serious about this guy. I really like him. I see a future with him. As my mum, I would expect her to take my happiness into consideration. And if she doesn't, then why should I take yours into consideration? Why should I now drop my relationship because you don't like him? And the thing is that it's not even that she doesn't like him because he's rude or because he's disrespectful, he's actually done something. It's because of something that's out of his control. Like, I understand sometimes with some cultures, like, they don't like to mix, or, which I completely get. But if you feel like, you know, you love this person or you really like this person, then you can't help who you fall for. And I don't feel like you should drop your happiness because your mum doesn't approve. At the same time, it does get a bit complicated. If your mum is super like strict on it and she's like, I will not accept this guy, it does get a bit complicated in the future. If you guys were to get serious and get married or have kids or whatever, there's kind of like that clash, like that culture clash, that family clash. Like, it's just like drama that you just can't be asked for. My advice to you is to sit your mum down and just let her know that you feel really conflicted because you really like this guy, you genuinely see a future with him, and he's really lovely, like he treats you well. If he does, don't lie if he doesn't. And yeah, like, will she be willing to meet him at least, or will she be willing to give him a chance for the sake of your happiness? Just kind of sit your mum down and talk to her like that. Obviously, I know that not every parent is the same, not every parent is as understanding. I forgot I had an orange hair. Not every parent is as understanding, which I totally get. But the best thing that you can honestly do is to communicate with your mum and just let her know how you're feeling. If you feel like with this guy, like, it's not worth falling out with your family over, and you don't really see a future and you're just kind of starting to get to know him, then maybe it's not really worth it. But I don't ever see myself like, if you're actually in a relationship, and you did mention that it was your boyfriend, I don't see myself like breaking up with my boyfriend because my mum said to me like, no, like, I don't like him because he's Jamaican. Somebody said, is being a mother hard? What do you find difficult, and how do you feel about having 3 sons? Being a mother is, it is hard. Yeah, it is hard. It's hard in terms of, I wouldn't say it's hard in terms of looking after them. Obviously it's really hard to get up in the mornings and stuff, but if I didn't have kids, I'd be getting up to go to work anyway, so it's not that deep. What is hard is balancing your personal life and balancing being a mum. I feel like over the years I kind of forgot myself, put like everything into my kids, like my whole life is my kids, and I love that I'm that kind of mum. I put their needs and their wants before my own, which is what any mum should be doing anyway. To the point where I forgot about my own future, my own social life, my own needs, my own wants, like what makes me happy. But at the same time, I also feel like Enzo's super young, so I can't focus on me right now. Like if it was just Jaden, I can start focusing on me and what makes me happy. But Enzo, like, he's so dependent, so I have to put my all into them, if that makes sense. That's the only thing that I would find hard, that you don't really find the time to really do what you want to do. Do you want it? Obviously sometimes I have like ideas and I'm like, oh, I want to start doing this, I want to start doing some social work, and I'm like, when can I actually start? Because when would I have the time? It's a bit difficult because obviously I need to drop Jaden off at this time, pick him up at this time, and then at the same time I've got Enzo full time, and he's at that age that I wouldn't trust him to be going to nursery yet until he can talk. I've decided to wait until he turns 3 so that he can at least communicate. If somebody's not treating him right, God forbid, he can open his mouth and tell me like, I don't want to go back there, this teacher's not nice to me, or blah blah blah. I just hear too many horror stories and I'm just not putting myself in that position. I'm too sensitive and too protective when it comes to my kids. I would rather be a stay-at-home mum. Be a stay-at-home mum and know that my kid is in good hands until he's able to talk and go to nursery. I'm gonna close out the video here, guys. I'm pretty sure that I've been babbling on for a bit too long. I did not want this to be a long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you do like these kind of videos, then drop a comment down below and let me know. Or if you prefer more of like vlogs and stuff. I was thinking to film like a get ready with me, like my everyday makeup look, or maybe more like a glam makeup look. I'm not that great at makeup, but I didn't even put no false lashes on today. I just kind of rushed because I was like, right, let me take a picture for Instagram, let me do a video for YouTube. But yeah, nevertheless, comment down below and let me know what kind of videos that you guys want to see. And yeah, I will see you all on my next video. Bye guys.